Hey, what's up, everyone? Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye here. And if you're just coming here from Dom's channel, we were at the point peak of what pisses us off, what annoys us within the photography industry, community, anything like that. Or if you're just seeing from my channel, I'm going to link down in the description his channel. Check out his video where we went on a nice little rant about some things that ticked us off. And now we have some more on my channel as well. So check out his channel down in the description. That video will be there. And you know, we were leaving off with pricing, all that kind of stuff on your channel. But one thing that really gets me, and I made a video about this that did pretty well, was megapixels. Freaking megapixels. How people love this shit. And we touched about it briefly-ish about like Hasselblad and all that kind of stuff and the price points. No one, it's this thing where you need the most megapixels, these 35, 40 megapixels, these phone sensors that have 50 megapixels and all this kind of shit. You don't need this shit. My Nikon D700, which you had as well, it's 12 megapixels. It's one of it is one of their best low light cameras that they ever made. So it's extremely overrated. Once again, in my opinion, that megapixels, you need a bunch of them. Get over it, type of thing.
I have still got the magazine somewhere in my house, where it's like the day the Nikon D700 or the D3 was released, and they're like, it's got 12 million pixels. This is more than enough. And like at that time, like 8, 10 megapixel were considered like, oh, this is billboard size. And there's even there's in the UK there's a show called The Gadget Show where they took a photo with a Nikon F5 and a photo with the Nikon D700, and they blew the pictures up to a 5-story building, and they asked people to walk past going, which one do you think is better? And I was like, they look the same, can't tell the difference. So they're going from film, which is a trillion pixels, wherever you like, atom size or whatever it is, to a 12 megapixel image, and they're looking at it, and the majority of people went, that one's better, it seems sharper. It was the Nikon D700. So when everyone goes, oh, I just don't get enough pixels or something with 12, you're like, it's big enough for a 5-story building. And that was a crop. That was a crop of the center bit as well. Yeah. So whenever anyone says, oh, I need more megapixels, I always kind of go, do you?
Why?
Do you really?
What do you shoot that you really need it? And one thing a lot of people say, it's obviously for the crop. And it's not, I mean, I get it. Yes, it helps with cropping and all that kind of shit, so you get better resolution from it. But like, yeah, what are you shooting with? And I have blown up, I've known people that had the, whatever camera was, Nikon D100, whatever it was. It was 6 megapixels, blew it up to a wall-sized canvas. I mean, huge, and it looked fine, And it's just people like, oh, well, I need the best resolution for printing and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, you don't. Stop. This is what we were kind of talking about in your video as well. It's just what people are being brought up to. This is what you need. This is it. It's just being drilled in their goddamn heads when you don't. You don't. It's a bad selling point.
The one which I always explain, whenever I say, oh, I've got 12 megapixels, and somebody goes, oh, my phone's got 15. I go, yeah. And that 52-inch TV, which you have in the wall, at full HD, is 2 megapixels. So, I've got a 12 megapixel camera that could do 6 times that 52-inch TV. So, whenever people kind of go, shit, that giant TV only comes out to like 1080 by 1920, is only 2 million pixels worth. You kind of go, holy shit, I never realized that. So whenever people think, I need more pixels, or I need to crop in, what I think is you need to crop in, or you need more pixels for cropping in when you've got a shit a lens on the front. So if you've got a mushy lens, if you crop in a little bit, a mushy lens becomes more, you really start to notice the mushiness. But see, if you have a tack sharp Samyang 85 f1.4 at about f2.8, shooting something like fashion or something like that, it will be so damn sharp on an 8 megapixel camera that even that you don't need a billion pixel camera going on at all.
And it makes because like I come more from a wedding background as well. If I walked around with the D800, I would or D800, D810, whatever the hell, I would absolutely. That is a clutch move right there. I'm jealous. I haven't eaten anything yet, but sponsored by Pringles. I wish. Tweet us. We'll definitely use that in a video. Yeah. But yeah, it's just like you're killing your own workflow too, and you're taking up a lot of your own shit when you don't need to. Yes, memory is cheaper, but you're gonna need more of that shit to compensate for it.
No, absolutely. I run all my work on a 27 iMac with everything in it. It's got 16 gigabytes of memory and all that kind of stuff. Whenever I'm shooting my property stuff, which isn't that taxing on the camera or the sensor or anything like that, I am shooting in RAW small or RAW medium. So it's actually like a 10 megapixel image, which I'm shooting for my professional stuff. Because whenever I shoot it at 21 megapixels, the full resolution, every change that I do to a photo takes only about a quarter to half a second longer. But oh my god, that fucks me off if I'm doing 5-6 changes to a photo and I just want to go rotate, crop in, straighten, color balance, done. Next photo, rotate, crop, straighten. Well, but if I'm going rotate, crop.
Yeah, the buffering time is just
oh my god, I can do this in half the time.
Yeah,
so like,
horrible.
You can do it all very quickly with smaller files, and nobody knows the difference at all. So yeah, so Mega, and the thing is, Nikon in the past was the camera company which is all like, oh, we don't care about pixels, we're all about ISO. And that's whenever they brought out the D3, everyone was like, holy shit, this camera is awesome. That's when Canon was bringing out the Canon 5D Mark II kind of stuff, and it was like 21 million pixels, or the 1DX Mark something, and they're like, oh my god, that's 18 or 20 megapixels and stuff. So everyone's like, Canon is megapixels, Nikon is ISO. And then recently it just went totally flip side, and now Nikon's like 36 million pixels, or even their little point and shoot, not point and shoots, but their little their cheapest digital SLRs are 24 million pixels. Me, I'm thinking I'm shooting a wedding next summer in Spain, and I'm thinking, if I'm still using my Panasonic GH4, I'll still use that. But if there's a night shot, maybe I'll take a Nikon D3200, because at the same time it's still a 24 million pixel. I don't need a bigger camera. I don't even need a 24 million pixels. But that just gives me so many options to do it. But that is way more than was ever needed ever in my life. I've never ever in my experience has anybody said, Dom, can you send us a higher resolution file? I've had, stupidly, people saying, Dom, can you send us a higher megabyte file? For some reason, somebody said, oh, can we have one which is 4 megabytes in size? I'm like, megabytes, megapixels, do you know what the fucking difference is, you dumbasses? And they're like, oh, we don't know the difference. So that was more just like stupid people. But as I said, nobody's ever said, oh, we need more resolution in anything I've done. Especially if I've given a full 12 megapixel image, no one has ever said that's not big enough for me for anything ever.
I agree, and no one knows. Yeah, no one knows that goes to that point really well.
It's so pointless and so not necessary. And when it's crazy, newbies going, I need, like, I had somebody say, Dom, I need to have more pixels. I'm like, what are you shooting? Oh, street photos. I'm like, what camera do you think you need to get? Oh, I'm thinking of a Hasselblad. He was from Dubai, so obviously just money pouring over him for breakfast. So he was like, a Hasselblad is only 20 grand. I'll buy the Ferrari edition instead and pay 30 grand for that. So he had, like, money was no object to him, but he was thinking, I need something that can do 50 million pixels for me to take street photos. It's just like,
oh my Jesus. Oh wow! Imagine someone like in the streets just with a Hassie just walking around. Holy shit!
Big Hasselblad.
Oh my god! Well, that's interesting. I guess another point that really kind of pisses me off is these pro photographers, these companies selling you bullshit plugins that makes you more professional. Put them in Photoshop, put them in Lightroom, you know, just tack it on. You know, these plugins, these overlays, it's so amateurish to me. It's just like that whole Instagram, throw a filter on it, it looks better type of thing. Make your own freaking plugin. Put another couple minutes into your own thing. I just recently did like a video where I found this like cinematic style, and then like I made my own plugin for it. I don't need to spend, you know, $9 for a set of 5, $100 for a set of 100. No, save your goddamn money.
This is something which I have absolutely no understanding of. I've seen companies say this, and I don't use Photoshop, so I'm like, what are these plugins? And I hear you can get them for Lightroom, which are like on the side of Lightroom. There's a thing which says like presets. So you've got black and white presets and old age and vintage and all that stuff. The plugins for Lightroom, is that effectively just a thing that goes in there?
Yeah.
So people are paying for somebody that has changed their settings.
That's what I meant, a preset, more or less.
Yeah, so effectively somebody's going, let's increase exposure, let's bring highlights down, let's put shadows up, let's change sharpening, and let's sell that to people.
And
like,
you're just hoping, you know, and when they demo it, these people, they demo it on their own sites and everything like that. Your exposure doesn't match. It's not the same freaking photograph. Your exposure doesn't match it. If it's underexposed, this plugin, oh yeah, it makes it better. Your image is going to look totally like ass. I mean, it's not going to help you out unless you shot the same exact exposure as this person. It's not going to be the same. And with these skin filters and everything like that, they do, you know, the clarity is like all the way soft. So it looks like there's no features, or it takes away, you know, freckles and shit like that. It's just like, what the fuck are you thinking?
And I don't understand how that would actually make a non-professional's workflow faster. What it would make it is potentially just kind of a bit more shit. As in, they would kind of go, oh, look, I've done this and this, and I've added this to all my photos. He's kind of like, you need to actually edit your photos. You need to like change each photo for the requirements that you need, not a preset. That's the weird. It's an awesome, like, well done, whoever's actually able to sell that shit. But you are selling shit. You are selling like cans of air.
But it's high quality, great smelling shit, Dom. You don't want it? Come on now.
It's compressed air.
150 presets that I stole from someone else is now going to be yours for only $10.
Yeah. That's snake oil kind of shit going on there.
Absolutely. What was, you know, we're going to kind of round out the video a little bit, but what was the last point you wanted to bring up in regards to, you know, Canon and Nikon and body differentiation? You know, we've touched about it a little bit, but we didn't go into it a little bit.
Well, okay, so Canon has been pretty shit at bringing out new sensors. So they've brought out lots of cameras, but it's the same sensor. And generally what people are looking for is some way of advancing their image quality by either greater dynamic range, either more pixels or color depth or all that kind of piss. Canon had a sensor which they put in the 550, the 7D, and all that kind of for about 7 cameras, and there's no change apart from some of the firmware, maybe some of the mechanics and all that kind of stuff. Nikon does the same, so their D3300, 5200, 7100 all have the same sensor in it. Again, so okay, you're buying more for the body, but what I always say is these companies are multi-billion dollar, pound, zillion yen companies. They have the finances to do anything, absolutely anything. They could make a sensor which has 1 million dynamic ranges and a trillion pixels and all that kind of stuff. But they seem to just kind of go, well, just give out a little more stuff going on, and there's nothing being really game changing from
nothing innovative.
The biggest game changer, I would say, over the last 3 years has been GoPro.
I agree.
Not because it's got an amazing sensor thing, but because they just went, we've got a totally different idea. And like we just think, I bet Nikon and Canon are just going, only we thought of that. Oh, that's a genius idea. And then after the GoPro, I said the next biggest innovation has actually been like the DJI Phantom. How many videos and videos have you seen people flying helicopters in places for getting amazing photos or videos? It seems like, but the other thing I think is that Canon, Nikon, they have the resources, the finances, the brains, the manpower to produce stuff which could blow the market away. So everyone just kind of go, holy shit, I need to buy that. But at the same time, I've ended up selling all my Nikon stuff, and I've brought myself a Panasonic GH4 because this in-camera can record full 4K video. It's got a full articulating screen at the side, which for some reason Nikon with their D750 has just got this slightly flippy up one, which I'm going, what the fuck is that for?
The ribbon is shown in everything. It's so terrible.
Oh, and it looks like there's wires that come out to touch it. You just think that looks utter shit. This one is like weatherproofed. Like you cannot get water into this. But this like genius. And this is technology which has been around since 2004 when I had my Canon S2IS, which is a tiny little camera, but it's fantastic. Why? And Nikon even have it on their the 5300, 5200.
That screen.
Going, it's brilliant. But this one's even touch screen as well, so I can touch the screen and it's touch focus. Oh, it's so good. Canon's got that in like their 70D.
70D, yep.
And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. But yet in any of the higher models of Nikon, which you're paying top dollar for, there's nothing going on there. And even Sony, congrats, you've done some pretty awesome stuff. But your A7S, which everyone is like, ooh, that's good, for the A7S, you can't record internally at 4K. You need to buy a thing called a Shogun thing, which is attached to the bottom, which is massive, and it's just like that, which is an extra $2 or $3 grand worth of shit for you to get 4K out.
Convert it,
At the same time, there's the technology. Like little company Panasonic has obviously just went, we don't have a huge customer base. Let's make something awesome that does everything.
They've been doing that through the years, though, with the 2, 3, which is innovative, and now the 4. It's just like, holy shit, and it's under $2,000.
Yeah. And the other thing. Okay, if we go to like Canon has got all that camera shit which just said Canon's in the same sensor. There's a alternative company that makes a thing called Magic Lantern, which is a firmware which you stick into your memory card, and all of a sudden in your camera you have Peking, you have zebras, you have like audio files, like it's just like holy shit, you've turned a very cheap Canon 550D into an awesome beast that can even record raw video. You're like, holy shit. But yet Canon, nah, no, don't.
Yeah, and so we're not gonna do it.
Yeah, the Magic Lantern people, they're a free company. You can download it for free. You're like, what the fuck?
From what I've read before was that Magic Lantern approached Canon about like licensing and integrating it, and it's just like, what a perfect way to do that. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not comfortable with that. So that's why you run the risk if you brick your camera, meaning if you put it in and something really screws up, your camera just doesn't work. Canon won't cover it for shit because it's the same thing with like, what is it called? Like jailbait, hacked iPhones, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. You void your warranty doing that. It's just like, be smart. And like, that just kind of reminds me of like, Lytro. I don't know how much you read into Lytro and what they've done, but they have that whole light ray type thing to where you can focus after you've taken the photo. They've failed. Their first Lytro sucked ass. It's so cheap now. And, they have this Lytro alum, which I've actually played with at Photo Plus recently. It's going to fail too. First of all, it's extremely expensive compared to the first one, which tanked. I don't know how they're going to have validity, but it has of no use because it's got its own editing program and stuff like that. It's a whole different workflow. But it's just like, if a camera company goes up to them and says, hey, can we integrate this somehow? It might take a couple years, but if you can, yes, you should get the focus right in camera, but there's times where you're screwed. You can't do it. Why not try to go that route? Be innovative. Like we said, kind of wrapping that down into a cloud. It's just like, how awesome would that be to go in? You're like, shit, that wedding photo is just a little bit out of focus. It was low light. But if you can literally just go, fuck, it's in focus. Jesus Christ.
I'll expand on that part there because I think Lytro total bullshit company. I think like what is this shit which you can't even view on a normal computer screen or something, or you can't like, oh, I'll just upload it onto Facebook. No, you can't. It's some utter shit anyway. But as you're saying, it's not just, oh, if I get the focus wrong. Sometimes you can get lenses which are
back focus and all that kind of shit.
Back focusing or front focusing. So and cameras have a range of what they consider to be accurate. Lenses have a range of what considered to be accurate. But if one camera is +2 and a lens is also +2, it's +4 out whenever it's taking a photo. So you can go, my camera is saying ping, I'm focused on the front eye of this model. But whenever you're editing going, it's actually focused on her ear at the back. What the fuck? How did that happen? And it's not because the camera's moved, it's not because you've moved, not because the camera's wrong, but just because everything is just a little bit wrong. If you have that kind of technology in a camera which you can do, it's like, brilliant, I don't need to worry about that 4 millimeters worth of focus, which is actually highly important with ultra shallow depth of field lenses.
Would you pay more? Would you physically pay more for that? Would you justify being able to pay another $500, $700 pounds, £1,000 for that in a camera? Would you think that is something where you're like, yes, the price totally sucks, but holy shit, you could do that? Would you prefer that type? Would you justify that?
I would justify that if I was buying a camera and a lens setup, which was vastly more expensive than that. Yeah. So if I was buying like the Nikon D3300 and a point-and-shoot lens, hell no.
You know what? That's what they'll do, though. That's the thing that's so goddamn annoying. They'll put it in that low consumer market, and they're like, yeah, great, have fun with that. And it's just like, you missed the freaking point.
Yeah, completely. If you've got 36 million pixels and you're using lenses with a depth of field which is only about 2 centimeters, if you're off by +4, all of a sudden that's a totally shit photo. If you can rescue that in a camera and a lens combination which costs you already £3,000, £4,000, if you're adding on an extra 500 quid to make sure that you don't. Yeah, exactly. So, like, bought, done. It's like Nikon brought out the D800 and the D800E.
Yeah.
The E, which is missing out a low pass filter, effectively meant that your images are more shit because you're actually getting moire in your images, where in high frequency fashion photos, it's actually too sharp. And it just fucks up, and you're getting these fake spatial aliasing going on in images. That's where actually having a slightly out of focus or slightly kind of blurred out image, which is what the anti-aliasing filter does. Yeah. We're talking about microns here, not like putting in a Gaussian blur in front or anything like that. Then I thought that was a total pointless thing. It was more expensive. It was missing something, and it made the images shitter. But if you had something like the Lytro technology in a D800, I'm like, that is worth the extra money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so camera companies which are big enough, like Canon and Nikon, could buy Lytro with their pocket money, with their pocket change. And yet they don't. You just kind of go, you're not thinking out of the box or projecting far enough in the future.
Yep.
Like at the moment just now, GoPro went and became a public limited, a PLC. So they went on the stock market.
Yeah, that's
and they made billions of pounds. Now there's all this chat like, oh, GoPro is going to make their own drone. Now I'm like, well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised about that because they've got billions of pounds now, and they're really all based on just a little camera.
Yeah.
They need to diversify and like create a bigger industry rather than just one little camera. So yeah, they'll make little drones. But Canon and Nikon, I don't see anything of that happening at all.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's that's really what's kind of just fucking pissing off. That's just the industry for you. It's just like you're so let down about a bunch of things. It's like, get me excited about something, please.
It's let down by the big brands.
Yes.
So, like I am over the moon with my Panasonic. Yeah. I think if I got the Sony A7S as well, I'd be like, that is astonishing. But there's what I think these big companies aren't innovating enough. That means littler or less specialized or less brand companies like Panasonic or
Fuji.
What's the other one? Yeah, Fuji and all that stuff.
Yeah.
They're really coming into the market. And you just think, I've spent thousands of pounds being part of Nikon. Why isn't Nikon still being the leader? That's why I went with them in the first place, because they were the leader, they were the best ISO and all that stuff. Now they're just like getting overtaken by
another one.
Yeah, by anybody else.
Another thing. Yeah, it's I wish that was going to change. It's business. We get it. It's marketing and everything. Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to add in regards to what we're pissed about? We've talked for a while. What do you got?
Yeah, we've totally owned that as well. Yeah, no, I think we pretty much covered everything from pixels to prices to development to raw plugins to dive right anything else.
Enough. Fix all this shit. Enough. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Nikon, if you do all that, we will all come back to you, definitely.
We'll make another video just praising you for an hour combined.
The kind of thing is with all that is not make it like so many times I've done videos where I'm saying I'm not upgrading, and you've got your D700. There's very little need for you to kind of go, I need to, like, it's only once the camera breaks that you upgrade, but I'm not upgrading within Nikon. I'm out with Nikon and I've gone to Panasonic. It's like you've lost a customer which could have been there if you had just put the effort in to blow me away, and I would have been buying lots more Nikon shit.
And I was dying. I was dying. I mean, I love my D700. It's weight, everything. It's freaking awesome. You can attest to this. But it's just like, you made the D750 a great camera. Absolutely, I get it. It feels like shit. I don't know if you felt it yet. It is so small. I've got really big hands. It is tiny. It's not as great to hold. And it's just like, what are you doing? I don't get it. I don't know. There's a lot of things we don't get. Me and Dom were pretty pissed. We covered a lot of things. A couple little curse words. As I said, at the beginning of the video, if you were just watching me from Dom's channel, thanks for coming over to watch. If you were from my video, go check out the first part we did over on Dom's channel. Once again, that link will be down in the description below. And also, what are you guys annoyed with the industry, camera brands, anything else? Write those down in the comments, and be interesting to see what you guys say. So, thanks, Dom, for checking in. Thanks for ranting as well. And yeah, so everyone, what are you guys pissed about? Hopefully things change. It won't, but that's what it is.
But if we all rant together, maybe we can do something.
They will still ignore us.
Yeah, we will just be a bigger amount of ignoring.
So that's all we got. Ignoring all, whatever. Eric Rossi, the guy with the eye. Keep an eye out. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.
See you all later, guys. Bye-bye.